Today I thought I'd talk about some of the challenges we're facing on the land right now. Toilet hassles. I'm reaching the point where I can't wait to get a septic tank installed so that I can just take the toilet cassette and empty it straight away instead of having to drive, I think it's 15 minutes into town to the dump station. And it's just one of those jobs that is not enjoyable at all. Then the next stage will be eventually building the house and having a normal toilet. And the hassle of dealing with the rubbish and recycling. Because we're rural, they don't do rubbish collections right by the road along here, so it just means we need to take our rubbish and recycling down the road to the local tip. And I'm not great with remembering when it's actually open. I was planning to go this morning and just didn't manage, so we are overflowing on the recycling and the paper, and then probably going to be stinky rubbish bags. And gas bottle swaps, I will admit I haven't been great at remembering this task lately, so we've had a few hassles with suddenly not being able to get your morning cup of tea or coffee, which is, the biggest drama in the world. So we use it for cooking and for hot water, so it's necessary. And water, it's one of those, we're on tank water, and you always do wonder, are you going to survive all through summer on this small tank with 3 people and a baby? So we'll see. Hayden doesn't feel hopeful. Might have to go back to the hassle of collecting small amounts from town like we did at the start. We are planning to get more water tanks in the future. So a couple of weeks ago we hit a really hot patch, and I thought, okay, summer started, we're going to have to be careful with our showers and water use. But then the last week it's been raining pretty solidly, so I'm pretty sure we're back to full again. Power. We've actually got 3 separate solar systems right now. The big one here, small one in the caravan, a small one for the cabin. So it's just keeping an eye on the computer controller and making sure we're not going too low and damaging the batteries. Particularly since this last week there's been a lot of overcast and heavy rain. So not a lot of sun has been reaching the solar panels to charging them up. Plus Hayden took his generator with him, so if we did get stuck we wouldn't have been able to charge them up. But it's looking good. We're doing okay. And the pumice. It gets everywhere, all through the cabin, all through the caravan. So I feel like you continuously need to sweep or vacuum. I feel like you tidy up and it's instantly trodden everywhere again. It's just, I am wondering what I'm going to do long term to keep this hassle under control. The pool caravan really has become just the kitchen and the toilet and then the random storage place on the bed. Poor caravan. For some odd reason, I think it's having extra people like my brother cooking in here too, that there suddenly doesn't feel like there is enough room, because we both have our systems and it becomes a bit of a, we're not great on keeping on top of doing dishes right now. It seemed fine when I was living in here on my own, but particularly with me and my brother using this kitchen all the time, it's always messy and chaotic. I had quite a nice little system when I was living in here, but not anymore. It's been a great setup having the Sleepout and then instant kitchen and toilet set up, but it's not ideal. I couldn't live like this forever and ever. So I'm feeling happy that we are slowly progressing with the house plan, even if it will take us a couple of years to get there. It's I'm finding at the moment, I guess Reese has hit the age where he gets upset if I am gone too long, so it requires very quick dashes to the caravan and back again. And if one of us is cooking, someone else has to be in the caravan, in the sleep out with him, keeping him company. And when in the colder months, it's just a bit of a hassle putting on the puffer jacket to come out into the cold and closing the door to keep the warmth in. So I think summer will be a lot easier. And what about trying to dry things when you get wet weather non-stop? Reese is kind of running out of clothing right now at the moment. So we've ended up with a small drying rack in the sleep out. I did actually have this one in the caravan, and it's useful. It doesn't take up much space, but we don't have much space. Cabin fever as well on those long wet days. I used to get cabin fever in the caravan when I'd go to a location and you're kind of stuck. If it's like 3 days of rain and you're feeling stuck in the caravan, it gets wearing. Same thing with our setup. Yeah, just hanging out in the sleep out all day can also get a bit wearing. So I'm looking forward to a house with a bit more space. Hey Reese. And then you can spread out and make lots of mess with all your toys. And yet another example of not having much space. Reese, if we were in a house, Reese could now go into his own room, but we don't have his room right now, so yeah, me and Hayden will just keep having to sleep right next to Reese for a while longer. But I should point out that I do love our land and I love our setup. So have I missed any of the challenges? Is there anything you would personally struggle with?